Hello everyone, how's it going? My name is WoWcrendor and welcome to another episode of WorldCrendor, where you submit questions to me on Facebook.com/Crendor, Twitter.com/WoWcrendor, links, not face, links in the description below. First question comes from Brady Whitham. He says, have you ever heard of the new MMORPG game Wildstar? If so, what do you think of it? I answered this question last week, and I decided to bring it back because on the co-optional podcast that I hosted with Dodger and Jesse, Jesse brought up the point that the game has actually changed quite a bit since Jesse and myself have played it, which was a long time ago, like very first beta. And apparently he tried it at PAX, and he got to talk to them, and apparently they have a bunch of endgame content planned. The game has been polished up. They've changed the game a lot. And so I wanted to actually pull back my opinion from last week where I was like, oh, it's just a WoW clone, whatever. And it actually sounded really interesting now. And it sounded like they were a company that was really trying to make a fun, legit game. And they focused on all the areas of an MMORPG. And I have decided, why not? I'll try it again. So I signed up for the whole beta thing. I emailed them and I was like, yo, I'm willing to try your game out and, make a video out of it, whatevs. And I'm willing to give it another chance because it sounds like they've done a lot to it. So, yeah, that's, I'm going to be doing a video on Wildstar in the coming weeks to see what it's all about. It's compared to when I last played it. Okay, that's enough of me being like, this is what I said, this is what I think now. So yeah. And for next question, N Daniel, or Rampshick on Twitter, says, will we get Speedbowl recap shows for the rest of the weeks? I'm sorry I have not made Speedbowl recap shows. I'm going to start doing those for the remaining half of the season. It's just, I've been traveling, and it's just, I talked about that last week, but for the remaining half of the season, I am going to get back to making recap shows and hopefully build up some more hype for the ending of the Speedbowl season. Yeah, moving on. Nick Wunsch says, WoWcrendor, what do you think about the Blizzcon 2014 pricing? If you did not know, BlizzCon 2014 has been announced, and it has been announced for November, I believe, 7th, something around there. And the pricing has gone up from, I believe, $175 to $200 now. $199 to be exact, but pretty much $200. And when you consider all the things that are a part of BlizzCon, the plane tickets, unless you live by there, a hotel, the food, buying stuff there, there's a lot of things around there as well. There's a lot more money that goes into a trip like this, and when you compare that to the price of a ticket going up like $25, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's BlizzCon, and last year they sold out in it was insanely fast how quickly they sold out. And I think raising the prices is it's smart business. People can yell about it all they want. They could raise the prices to $300. They'd still sell out like, boom, sold out. Obviously, I'm attempting to get my press passes. I didn't get them last year. I know nobody's going to care about this because I'm like, here's press passes. I waited too late to actually get my press passes, and so they were all sold out. Or, not sold out, but he gave my contact people, gave them all away, and they're like, we don't got any. So now I'm like, yo, I'd like some press passes, please. Thank you. So yeah. But in the line waiting to get into BlizzCon, myself and Mystery Woman actually got to meet a bunch of fans in the line, and they were like, you're WoWcrendor, and I was like, hey, so that was cool. I got to be part of the line experience, and it was well worth it. But now I want press passes. Moving on. Per Goranson No way I said that right. What do you think of the WoD? He says, what do you think of the WoD Warlords of Draenor alpha patch notes? I have not actually looked too in-depth into the patch notes. One of the reasons is because I know the alpha is going to start soon, and all the press and everyone will get in, and I'd rather not read about it and things that can change, and I'm just going to jump in once it starts and experience it all for myself, and then kind of glance over the patch notes once I really get into it. And I think, because I don't want to judge it too early, be like, oh, look at this is what it says. I'd rather just go in and be like, whoa, this is a thing, and experience it for myself. I like to experience things rather than read about them and like really analyze and then go into it. If that makes sense, at least gaming wise. Like, I'm also trying to stop saying like so much, but I'd rather just experience the game first and then really read about everything about it. That's my personal preference. I've glanced over patch notes, but they don't really make that big of a difference or matter that much to me. I mean, there's the item squish. That's a big thing happening, but I like the item squish. I'm really tired of seeing such big numbers all over the place. I'm like, what are they at now? Like, plus thousands of health, and I don't know, like plus 1,500 or stamina. It's like, I'd want to go back to the way it was in vanilla, where you got the smaller numbers. It's a lot more manageable, and I think it's a really good idea for them to do that. I honestly really like it. A lot of people are opposed to it, but it's all opinionated. Moving on, we got Sean Badarina. Badarina. That's an interesting name. I like it. It's like a ballerina, but a Badarina. Actual question: Do you ever have periods of no ideas whatsoever? I think every creative person has periods of no ideas whatsoever. And I like to think that pretty much everyone has a creative side. So I think having no ideas means that you need to brainstorm. And when you brainstorm, you generally can get ideas. Because to me, there's two ways you can get ideas. Actually, there's quite a few ways, not just two. There's playing games and actually moving around the world, or I guess it would be studying what you're trying to get ideas for, would be a better example. Then there's sitting down and brainstorming, just maybe a pen and paper and writing about it. And a lot of times that'll spark ideas. There's just random ideas popping up. You know, you could be at the grocery store and you see an apple and you're like, cactus apples? I could do a video about cactus apples, like that type of thing. You're like, wow. And then there's just ideas that are given to you by other people, where you're talking about something. It's kind of like that sporadic idea generation. I know Steve, for example, in my How to Win at PvP 2, the ending of that with the arena, where he's like, oh, it's a paladin, I give up. Steve gave me that idea, and I stole it from him, actually, and I bought him Chipotle for it. But that was his idea, and I took it from him because I was like, you're not going to use it. And he was like, I demand compensation, and I was like, sue me. So, but I still bought him Chipotle. Yeah. But really, everyone runs out of ideas. It's that, what's it called? Writer's block? It's essentially writer's block. I mean, years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, back when I was only making machinimas, I'd run out of ideas all the time, and I'd be like, oh my god, how am I gonna make another video? I don't have any ideas. And then it'd be like, oh, I got an idea. I mean, look at even just a couple years ago, I made How to Win It, or not How to Win It, If Fans Ran World of Warcraft. I thought that's probably one of my favorite videos, and I didn't make that until 3 years into making videos. 3-4 years, and you know, good ideas can come at any time, and that's why people that are like, ideas, you ran out of ideas, your idea pool has drained. That's not how ideas work. Jesse thinks I'm crazy because I compare it to David Lynch, but ideas are really like a river. It's like a river. A stream is just flowing, and you can either go fishing in the river, or you can just sit there and not care. But I like to go fishing in the river, and sometimes you catch some stuff, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you get a really good catch. That's how I think of ideas. And then you have funny question, favorite hedgehog name. I'd say Sonic, that's too boring. I'll say Sir Spikes. Sir Spikes, the hedgehog. I like it. Moving on. Max Burt says, will Mystery Woman ever be a part of the main channel? She will, actually, because we're trying to do a series. It's a Warcraft series, but it's not what you think. And I think it'll be really fun. And if you don't know who Mystery Woman is, just go to youtube.com/CrendorIRL and watch my non-content, and you will then learn of her. But yes, in the near future, she will be. And I'm really excited for it because the concept we're doing is really cool. Yeah. Next up, we got Noah Ailman, and he says, was there anyone in YouTube that you felt inspired by? I've said this before, but I figured it's been a while. Rurikar. If you don't know who Rurikar is, I believe he goes by Old Man Willikers now. He does a lot of Minecraft. Is that what it is? Old Man Willikers? Old Man Williker. Yeah, that's him now. Bruce, youtube.com/Bruce Willikers. And I just started his video. You probably heard that in the background. He does a lot of Minecraft. He used to do Unforgotten Realms. And I think he did a lot of Pokemon too. He used to do strictly Unforgotten Realms, which was a Flash series he had created. And it was just hysterical to me. He also made World of Warcraft videos, such as Jimmy the World of Warcraft Story, Time Gnomes, and Papitos. And out of all the things I'd seen on YouTube, Unforgotten Realms and his World of Warcraft videos were just hilarious to me. Like, they made me laugh out loud. And I hadn't laughed out loud at anything else I'd seen on YouTube, really, at that point. I mean, this is like 6 years ago. And it inspired me because I saw he'd stopped making World of Warcraft videos, and there are people saying, oh, make more, and nobody was making more, like, comedic-wise, and I thought, I can do that. Like, this is my style of humor. I can do that. I can fill the void everybody wants, and it worked out pretty well. So he was really the main person that inspires me. I just did Thanksgiving or Christmas. I think it was Christmas. We did a Christmas special where we talked for like 2 hours and ran around. We also had our Thanksgiving special, so you can go look that up if you want to hear us talk about a bunch of random stuff and you have nothing better to do or just trying to not do work or school or whatever. You just go look it up. It's Thanksgiving or Christmas specials we've done, and they're very long and they will waste a lot of your time, but I know that's why a lot of you are here. That's why I go to YouTube, to waste time. Alright. Or learn things, but learning. Alright. Next question is Simo Lettonen at Big Fat Ogre. He says, what is your education? Speaking of education, I probably put that question right after this one because of that reason. Wait, never mind. My education is the American school system. I actually went to a private grade school till 8th grade. Then I went to a public high school. And then I went to community college for about 2 or 3 years. 2 years technically, and then the 3rd year I kind of just took a film class. So I don't really like to count that as a 3rd year. But that is my education. I mean, on top of educating myself, because I'm the type of person where I like to self-educate. I don't like to be tested on my knowledge. Tested as in having to take a written test, because I always felt pressured in those situations, and I'd forget what I knew, and then after the test was over, I'd be like, oh, now I remember it all, because of the stress of testing. I was just a terrible test taker. And I would do well on everything but the tests, and then I'd get lazy and not do the homework, so really I'd get bad grades, but it didn't mean I was just like, I'll get this done. Like, I understood it, but but I was just terrible at the tests, and I would always just question the things I learned. So we'd learn something in math, and I'd be like, why am I want to do something that doesn't require this type of math. Why do I need to learn it? And they're like, you have to learn it because that's how it works. That's how the system works. I was like, this is a stupid system then. Like, what if you want to be a dentist and then you have to learn how to do calculus? Now someone's going to be like, Crendor, there is calculus required in dentistry. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I pursued self-education through YouTube, watching videos, and then I went to bookstores, I went to the library, I researched marketing on YouTube, I researched a lot of video tutorials, I bought books on online media, new media, and pretty much anything you think of, I read it, I really got into it, and it was fun for me. It became a hobby to just learn more and more about new media and online video and media entertainment and just everything like that in general, and it was interesting to me. And I know I constantly bash the old school educational system and old media, and part of that is because I'm part of new media, obviously. Part of that is because I personally did not get anything super beneficial out of it. I mean, it was obviously I had to do it, and I progressed through it, and I passed it all, but I don't feel like I learned as well as I could have learned and had as good of an education as I could have had the school system been better than what it is. And then a lot of people pay thousands and thousands of dollars where other countries have it for free to get this education, and then we get put in debt, and you have to work your way out of debt right after you graduate. To me, that made no sense. But I don't want to, like, just bash the school system constantly. I just want to encourage people to think about what you're doing. Think, I'm going to do this. I want to do, ask yourself questions. Say, what do I want to do? Does what I have to do involve schooling? If it does, then go for it. Do what you want to do. If you want to be a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer or a chef, go to culinary school, whatever it is, just try, take risks and go for it. Maybe, that monetary risk is worth the reward in the end for your happiness and what you want to do with your life. For me, it wasn't. That's just my personal experience. And I think we often get into generalizations where we can say, education's bad, this thing's bad, that thing's stupid, when really it comes down to a case-by-case basis. In my case, it wasn't worth it, and I was able to still be successful without it. In somebody else's case, they may have done the same thing as me, but not found entertainment in new media, and it may have been completely useless to them, and now they don't know what to do. So, I don't want to encourage just like dropping out of school and not going to college even though you really want to. Like, I want to encourage you to think about what you're doing and logically just plan what you want to do. Like, make a plan. Just make a plan and think about it and rationalize it and go over what you want to do and what it requires and all that stuff. So, yeah, that turned into more of an educational rant than what is my education. Next question comes from Kenneth at Sursock. He says, any plans to do some zombie survival games considering that's trending now? No, but if you mean create zombie survival games, my non-content RPG, which is back in production, is going to have some zombie elements to it. It is an unbelievable game, and it will create unbelievable reward and satisfaction for all minds. All minds. It's going to be great. My voice somewhat cracked there. And finally, we have a question from Yanizarn, and he says, WoWcrendor, do you think you will ever get bored and or quit WoW? And to that I say, I have gotten bored of and quit WoW so many times that I lost track. And I quit WoW at level 30-something in vanilla. 37? I quit WoW at level 37 in vanilla because I didn't have enough money to buy my mount, and I was like, well, I'm gonna hit 40, not be able to buy my mount. I'm so bored now, and there's so much grinding in this game, and I gotta pay $15 a month, and I can't do that. I'm in high school. And I ended up going over to Star Wars Galaxies, and I played Star Wars Galaxies for like 3 or 4 months. And then I went back to WoW. And that's back in vanilla. That's like 9 years ago I did this. So I was quitting WoW and playing WoW way back when. So when I quit WoW now and then I come back to it, I think a lot of people do that. And I think it just depends on the content that's available and if it's new and fresh, and once that gets old, there needs to be new content. And that's why a lot of people right now are just waiting for Warlords of Draenor, because there hasn't been new content for a while. And I'm just excited that there is going to be new content. So, yeah, I do get bored of and quit WoW, and I've done it many times. And my friends have done it many times. And one of the things that I think keeps a lot of people playing is just having their friends play. Because when you play with your friends, it just makes anything fun. You can play chess with your friends. You can play anything. I think it's just that social interaction of doing an activity with someone else, and be it WoW or be it whatever, that makes it fun. So that's what makes it an MMORPG, is the social aspect. But anyway, that's it for World of Crendor. If you want, you can go follow me on twitter.com/WoWcrendor or facebook.com/Crendor, and I'll be like, hey, World of Crendor questions, ask them. I do it every like week to 2 weeks or in between. I try for every week, but sometimes it's 2. You can also follow me on twitch.tv/Crendor. I stream every Friday. I have a pretty big following there now. A lot of people know about it. If you don't, I stream. So go check it out, twitch.tv/Crendor. I also do impromptu streams just randomly. And rodeoarcade.com/OMFGCata. We're still selling our Goobity Gop Gop Yee shirts. I think they sold out and they had to bring in more, so we're selling a lot of those. Or districtlines.com/WoWcrendor, where I have mugs and Go shirts and random merchandise. I really like the mugs. I have both my mugs and I drink them all the time. I mean, I have the shirt too, but I like the mugs more. If I could just have a store full of mugs, I would. I love tea and coffee. All right, we're done. Thanks for listening, watching, and yeah, okay. Boo.